Good morning, students. I hope this finds you well and that we're not too stressed out over the chaos that's been going on in our country and the world lately. I know several of you have had questions about what's going to happen since we stopped in the middle of a unit and you guys did have some work to focus on over the break. Please don't stress about that. Once we know a little bit more about where we're going to be going, I will reassess and get back to you guys. I do want to keep you guys up to date with some strategies that will help you prepare for the AP test and just for life in general. So as we've been working on poetry and Q3 preparation, the work that I'm going to send home for this upcoming week will do both of those things. So I've typed up, and I know it's hard to see this, I've typed up an instruction sheet that has the 4 days of lessons for this coming week. This will be available on Schoology as well as in the hard copy packets that you guys will be able to pick up. Okay. Our first focus this week is going to be on poetry. You guys are going to get a copy of this poem. Okay, that's called I Tend to Think Forgiveness Looks the Way It Does in the Movies. Very straightforward. I want you to read through it a couple of times, once or twice. Pay attention to the capitalization, pay attention to where the author or the poet chooses to pause, the punctuation that's used, and so on. Read through it a couple of times and just sit there and let the words wash over you. What do you feel? What do you think about when you're reading through this poem? Okay, our focus for this poem that you guys are going to be working on first is going to be something called concentric circle analysis. Okay, again, everybody will be given a copy of this, digitally or hard copy, available for y'all. Okay, concentric circles just means that you're going to have 3 circles, small, medium, and large. Okay, as you go through the poem, we're going to be paying special attention to the author's use of diction. The words that speak to you, the ones that are complicated, the ones that evoke some sort of emotion in you as a reader, okay? In the middle circle, you're going to choose one word that you think is the most important to the entirety of the poem, and you're just going to simply copy that word down here, just one, okay? Once you've identified what you think is the most important word in the poem, you're going to move to the second or the middle circle, okay? Going around the word that you've put in the middle, you're going to include images and doodles, sort of like a play on sketch notes, images and doodles that represent personal connections that you have as you read through this poem. Again, this is very much notes, not anything in depth. I just want you interacting with the text, okay? Once you've figured out the connections and thought a little bit about how it speaks to you on a personal level, you're going to move to the third or outer circle, okay? This is where you're going to craft a thematic statement. Now, please remember, I know we've talked about this several times, a theme statement should be universal, no specific titles, authors, characters, and it should include a because clause. We want to avoid those cliche bumper sticker style theme statements. So just make sure it's complex, okay? If you're unsure, I'm available via Schoology and I'd be happy to work with you back and forth on this, okay? So you'll have your theme statement going around the outer circle, okay? Once you've done that, around the outside of the circle, okay, anywhere you want, doodles, whatever, you're gonna fill it with quotes, textual evidence. It can be words, phrases, lines, whatever it is that you see that contribute to the theme and the word that you've chosen. Okay, we're just we're taking one little point and expanding out on it as we go through the different circles, okay? You're also going to be asked to write a short reflection, and I mean short, quality of your response versus quantity, about 8 to 10 sentences. I want you just to talk to me a little bit about what you felt and what you thought about while you were reading this poem. It doesn't necessarily have to be AP style, just what was going through your mind. What did you have questions about? What did it make you think of? Were there sensory images that evoked emotion in you, and so on and so forth? And in those 8 to 10 sentences, I would also like you to include a section of the poem that spoke to you as a reader, okay? Again, this can be a very short piece of text. It can be a longer piece of text, but I want you to identify the part that spoke to you. And I just want you to tell me what it meant to you, why out of all the lines in this poem you chose that specific one to go with, okay? That's going to be what we're doing for the first day next week. Okay, you will have, like I said, you will have instructions for each day. I'm going to try to keep these videos kind of short. The second day, we're going to kind of switch back and do some prep for the Q3. I know a lot of you have worried about being prepared for that because there's so many different novels that you can use. So you guys are going to also be given a Major Works data sheet. It looks like this. There's boxes for you to fill out, and you're just going to choose a literary work that you think would be successful on the AP test. This can be something that we've read in class, something that you've read in another class, or something you read on your own. Just remember, we're looking for a work that has complex themes and characters that you can actually develop. We want to stay away from those flat characters. Okay, the instructions are pretty straightforward on this, but again, I will be available via Schoology if you have any questions, and I will try to help you as much as I can. So I hope you guys are doing well, practicing some self-reflection during this time. Read some books, listen to some podcasts. If you need some suggestions, I'm here to help you, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.